It's week 16. Most of you guys are honestly probably sweating your best ball teams harder than the daily fantasy football slate this week, but we are very excited to bring you a slate that feels, Peter Overzet tweeted this week. He said, week 16 is bringing big week 18 energy, and I really couldn't agree more. I don't have a good explanation for why it feels that way. I guess two very good teams playing on Thursday night, Saturday night games. I actually have not even gotten to Monday night football yet in my planning, but I'm assuming there has to be some good teams playing on Monday night football.
Night?
Yeah.
There's a very old quarterback playing on Monday night.
Oh, that's right. It's Indianapolis, San Francisco. So there you go.
Yeah.
So we remove San Francisco from the equation as well. So it is more spiritually aligned, Jacob, with some of these slates we've been doing the last couple weeks with a ton of injuries, ton of buys. And we are starting. This feels like a cruel joke from our friends over at Run the Sims to have chronologically the Kansas City game first. I mean, how are we starting this show with the Kansas City Chiefs? I'm not loving this. Rashi is not going to play. He's in the projections right now, but he's not playing with this concussion. I guess if you wanted to be a real sicko degen, I think what you could do is I think you could play Pacheco if you wanted to play anyone from this game.
Oh no, thank you.
That's all I've got for you.
This is going to be a 35-minute show because
it's going to be very quick.
Because literally all I want to say about this game is next. No Mahomes,
the defenses are good.
No Rice. There's no if you're maybe Gretsch will be the one guy that wants to play $4,400 Xavier Worthy without Rice, but I don't want to do that with Gardner Minshew. I actually like the idea of Rice with Gardner Minshew.
I thought the same thing. I was like, he could keep Michael Pittman Jr. had
Michael Pittman had 150
receptions.
targets. Yeah, it was crazy. So I've seen a lot of Gardner Minshew. I'm familiar with him. He might just pepper Kelsey. I guess you could have a nice Kelsey game, but not much interest. And then unless the defense just completely gives up because they're out, and maybe they will, but kind of doubt it. There's nothing interesting about Tennessee ever, so probably just full avoid on this game. Maybe let's actually, you know what? On all these shitty games, let's do it as a bit of if you had to play one player. You said Pacheco would be your one player.
You know what? I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking about if Andy Reid is going to try and coach seriously. Now, the thing you're obviously dealing with the Chiefs here is I would assume everyone in this organization is just fucking depressed. Every year we compete for a Super Bowl, we're eliminated from the postseason. Mahomes just tore his ACL. Kelsey is talking about his Chiefs career in past tense on his podcast. I assume the morale is really bad. But were I to assume the Chiefs to do a very serious game plan in which they try very hard, my assumption would actually be that their plan is going to look a lot like what Worthy did in his first game back from the shoulder injury without Rashi, that week 4 game where he had 130 scrimmage yards. Now, does that even matter? I don't know. He will get more targets than the average $4,400 wide receiver. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm more on the side of they're just depressed and they don't care. and they're going to quit on the field and the Titans are going to win. I'll go with Tony Pollard at $5,400 as my play.
I wonder if Pollard kind of ends up getting chalky in this slate, given the relative dearth of options. I would guess the 3% on Run the Sims ends up coming in a smidgen low. Now, a game, Jacob, I'm going to try and sell you on Minnesota in New York.
Okay.
Actually being kind of good. Hear me out. Dart kind of did his thing last week. He basically proved that he cannot be caged by a coach. A coach can try and lower the PROE as low as they want. A coach can try and make things as difficult as possible. And he's still going to do his thing. He's still going to get it chucking. And don't look now. Consecutive, very reasonable performances from 9. What do you, just before we get into this game, what do you make of consecutive reasonable performances from JJ McCarthy?
Good for him.
I find myself swayed by it a little bit. Now,
Good for
part of
him.
what I find myself swayed
I'm
by
proud of him.
my final Best Ball Mania team. I am the only team in my pod with Justin Jefferson.
Oh, I see. I have this. This was while we were on the Kansas City game. I'm so annoyed. I have I only have one BBM team left, but I have a Great Dane left that is my primary sweat right now because it's like there's only 44 people left in the whole tournament, but it has fucking Rashee Rice on it. And I'm like, Jesus, man. Like I go through all this trouble. I sneak a Rashee team after this suspension all the way into week 16, and what happens? You know, he gets concussed. Such a cruel game. Anyway, I don't have any 9. I mean, yeah, he is obviously playing better. I'm not at the Thor Nystrom stage of he's our franchise quarterback yet, but he's given himself, I think, a chance. Like prior to 2 weeks ago, I thought the median outcome was he's just fully replaced in 2026. Like not even given a chance to start. Don't pass go. New quarterback in town. Now I think the median scenario is he is the planned starter, but they bring in like an overqualified backup to compete with him in case things go wrong.
Yeah, Andy Dalton. Check out Andy Dalton. Hope you are getting a good price on your Minnesota or St. Paul townhome. Would be my guess.
Yeah, that's where I think we're now kind of starting to go with 9. So yeah, he's interesting. I think both the quarterbacks are totally in play. They both run. It was fun to see Dart break free of the Kafkaesque limitations placed upon him. Yeah, I think both the quarterbacks. The only issue is like I don't know who you stack 9 with these days because like
I mean, you just got it. You just here's the deal, man. You cannot be a fucking coward. You gotta play $6,000 Justin Jefferson. You just have to. He had a touchdown called back by penalty last week, and he dropped another. Like the stirrings, the first.
He hasn't had 10 points, I think, in like 6 weeks.
I don't care. I don't care, man. $6,000 Justin Jefferson. It's officially gone too far. We've gone. This is. I mean 14%. I bet he won't be. I bet he won't be runthesims.com. I bet 14% is 4% too high. There'll be a certain because he's going to project okay, but not great, right? And I'm not playing Addison. I'm not playing like this Jalen Naylor production. Are you buying the Jalen Naylor production? Because
I'm not. Well, that's the thing is like if you don't play Jefferson, like you're not actually going to play Jalen Naylor in DFS. I mean, I guess you could play Hawkinson because he's a cheap tight end, and it's like Addison has not really been actually that much better than Jefferson. Like he's not getting any of the love either. So it's just a gross situation that makes me just leery of even playing McCarthy because I don't want to play him naked. So yeah, I guess you go Jefferson. It's just that the chemistry between them has been so horrific. I think I prefer playing the Dart side of this game probably just because it's cleaner. You pick one of Wandale or Slayton, and then you go Theo as you feel tight end. And yeah, that's probably more where I'm inclined to go if I play this game. I love the cheap stack you can do with just Dart, Slayton, Theo. It's like a totally viable stack, and then you just have all the money in the world left for anything else. I could see myself doing something like that.
Yeah. I think Theo's probably quite a good play in the context of the slate because we're gonna go through a bunch of tight ends and none of them are really all that appealing. But Theo runs all the routes, actually gets targeted deep down the field. He was 1 yard away from a touchdown last week, so would have been like a huge smash had he scored on that play. My nominee for undercover fun game of the week. This one I actually think we might be able to get excited about is the New Orleans Saints playing against the New York Jets. And the reason why...
We just called this the game of the week, the Saints and the Jets.
Well, the reason why, my friend, is that this is actually like a huge pace-up game. The Saints with Tyler Shuccarino under center are playing... They're the fastest team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
This is in a dome. Brady Cook, as our old compatriot Sam Sherman tweeted last week, he easily passed the be better than Justin Fields as a passer challenge. Like just immediately. I mean, he wasn't good, and I wouldn't play Brady Cook, but I would definitely play Shuck Demon. I would definitely play Olave. Devon Bailey is probably not playing with an injury. Then we also have Devin Neal ruled out. I think Rotopat tweeted this. He was like, the Saints are desperately trying to get a hold of Alvin Kamara and Cabo San Lucas to see if he'll come back and play in this game. I don't think there's any threat of Kamara playing in this game. So you've got Adonai Mitchell, and then you've got take your pick of Juwan Johnson, Mason Tipton, Dante Pettis. I assume Bub Means is hanging around somewhere. Like, there are like minimum salary guys to use with Shuck were you to want to do that.
The weirdest part about what's going on with the Saints is last week, after Devin Neal goes out, they have these two running backs. They have Audric Estime, they have Evan Hall, two former day 3 picks of other organizations that wound up on their practice squad. If for those of you who are into college prospecting or college fantasy football, you're probably familiar with these guys. Audric Estime was like this big bruiser. I think he caught maybe 10 passes in his last season in college at Notre Dame. Evan Hall was legitimately like college Christian McCaffrey. Like he caught a gazillion passes at Northwestern. He was like a college fantasy football legend. And then last week, it was one of the most inexplicable things I've ever seen where Deal goes out. They use Estime as the passing down back. He gets
Estime was a decent pass catcher at Notre Dame.
Did he have 8 catches?
I just remember that being part of his profile. Maybe, I mean,
that was not part of his profile.
Maybe I'm conflating him.
Way.
Okay, I'm wrong. Hand up. I'm conflating. I'm actually conflating him with Kyren Williams.
That was definitely part of Kyron's profile. Yeah, Kyron, who's not really caught many passes in the NFL, but he caught a ton of passes in college. Estime had 26 career catches in college. But Evan Hall, like, he is one of the most prolific college pass catching running backs, like, ever. Like, he was. I had him on a college fantasy team.
He's no Max Borghi.
Yeah, so like Evan Hall's final season had 55 receptions for 546 yards at Northwestern. Anyway, so the way that they were used was like completely antithetical to how they were used as college players. It was actually Evan Hall getting more carries. It was Estime running more routes. Maybe that's like a pass pro thing. It's like Denver ever trusted Estime in pass protection. Maybe the Saints saw something there and they don't trust Hall for whatever reason.
You know what this is, Jacob? You know what this is? This is the Samaj Piranification of Audric Estime. He's a big-bodied guy.
Yeah, maybe.
And he's a big-bodied guy. Pirine was like a fine pass catcher at Oklahoma, but Pirine was like an incredible rusher at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And what NFL coaches saw with him was like, well, he's a big dude. He can run okay, but not enough to get him on the field. Can we teach this guy to just pass block? And, saying the quiet part out loud, the easiest thing to teach a running back to do is like catch 4-yard passes. It's like very easy to do.
Right.
So like, I don't know.
It's not like Estime, like he wasn't a prolific pass catcher, but I agree. It's not like he doesn't have hands. Like, he can catch a football. I'm sure he has like coordination skills and everything. So I guess that's how I would project them to be used this week. Is that like Estime will play the long down and distance stuff apparently, and then they'll probably have a split on the ground. And it was more Hall last week, but it seems like everybody likes Estime more this week because I just think he has. I don't know. There's like a lot of people who like weirdly like Audric Estime out there in the world.
I was one of them last year.
Yeah, I don't know if I quite get like why there's so much enthusiasm for him, but like there is, and obviously the competition is Evan Hall, so it's not that steep. I could certainly see Estime being the guy this week. I don't know if I'll get to either one in DFS though. It might be like a wait and see how the split goes and get there next week for me, but I guess they're both in play if you have a particular lean. Probably the top place.
My lean is don't do it. My lean is that they're going to split enough, and then you're going to be like, oh, sick, I'm about to get an Audric Estime touchdown, and then Taysom Hill is going to lumber out from the sideline.
It's enough with Hill. Like
they did it. I'm not saying to play him, but they did it last week. He got a rush from the 2-yard line again last week. I'm not saying to play him.
Go?
It was awful. It was like hard to watch. Also, the other thing about it is Mr. Shuck Demon. I mean, he's just been like a good running quarterback.
Like, he is Taysom Hill. They don't need Taysom Hill. They just have him as their starting quarterback.
They have young / already very old Taysom Hill in Tyler Shuck.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the other way I'd put it is like, it's not like Devin Neal was even that mega when he was like 5,300. And he was getting literally all of the work. So you don't want to have like the guys that are worse than Devin Neal splitting work for not that much less money. But yeah, I like Shuck Demon, I like Olave, and I like Jawan. I would totally do that double stack. I probably will do that double stack. Bring it on back with AD Mitchell and giddy up.
Yeah, AD Mitchell definitely a play in this slate. The Buffalo Bills traveling to play at the Cleveland Browns. Now, last week we were pretty up to date on the weather. I don't think it's going to be as bad this week. Like last week was like brutal. There was like a cold spell across the United States of America. The very interesting thing about the Bills when they play these terrible teams is despite being favored by so much, it makes them markedly worse fantasy plays because they end up like never trying on offense. This is Karane's point that he's made a ton of times, which is that when you're playing the Bills, you kind of want to lure them into a false sense of security by not beating them too bad, because once you start to beat them by enough points, then Joe Brady and Sean McDermott just throw their hands up and say, Josh Allen, rescue us, dude. And then he just
that's why the Patriots fucked up.
The Patriots got up by too many points. They should have been more conservative. There should have been more Ramondre. They should have told Trevion, like, hey, man, we're good. One 50-yard rushing touchdown, good. 2 50-yard rushing touchdowns against the Bills, too many. Which leads me to believe that I'm probably not going to be that into Josh on this slate because it's so hard for me to imagine him getting one of those crazy, 35 balls that he will do. Does make me very into James Cook. And then, Harold Fannin Jr. coming off the 14 target game, but like Shakir, Judy, Judkins, this is a very bad spot for Judkins, despite the quality of the rushing defense. I mean, we saw this last week, right? It like doesn't matter if your backup is Hingle McCringleberry, like, and when there's no other running back on the roster, it doesn't matter because the Browns are too bad. They're just too bad. So they kind of have to be in a position to win the game for Judkins.
I might play Judkins.
I get it. The run defense is hilarious.
I'm interested. Bad. The run defense for the Bills is like a complete joke, just like an absolute joke. And while Judkins has been inefficient lately, I really don't think it's his fault. I think he's still very good. So if he just gets a little more space than usual, I think he could break off like a couple of big ones. And I don't
expect how many of their linemen are out in this game?
I think all 5. I think it's surely
they were missing 4 starters last week.
I don't know. Yeah, I think Hingle McCringleberry is starting actually all 5 spots on the offensive line this week.
Tough.
Yeah, but I don't know. I still have mildly interested, I guess. I could just, it's like, I know the lineman sucks. I'm just trying to force it, but like one of my favorite things to do back in the day of like really shitty Browns teams was Nick Chubb as like a big underdog against a terrible run defense. Nobody would ever play him because of the game script stuff. And it was always one of my favorite, like just take a shot on Chubb and see if he like could take advantage of this matchup and just break like a 75-yarder. And it felt like it worked like more often than not. And anyway, so I'm just trying to maybe graft that onto Judkins. I don't know if I'll actually get there, but I'm interested. I don't think I'm interested in the Bills side for the reasons you said. Like, it's gonna be cold. I don't think it's supposed to be like, it's not supposed to be crazy. It's gonna be like in the low 30s Fahrenheit, but like it's still gonna be a cold game. And the Browns aren't gonna put up a fight, and their defense is still pretty darn good. So I assume it's just gonna be a lot of like James Cook. And I don't know that he's gonna
this
have,
right here. Temp around freezing with 15-mile-an-hour sustained winds, gusting around 25 to 30. That's James Cook's music. There's just no way around it. I think James Cook is like a phenomenally good play this week, and that's really bad. The continued Bills tight ends bit. I mean, this is not even really relevant to what we're talking about, but we don't have that much to talk about because it's kind of a boring slate. The fact that these guys, that Dalton Kincaid, their first round pick from 3 years ago, legitimately plays the 3rd most snaps amongst their tight ends. And another very funny thing I've realized is the announcers always wait a second after a Bills tight end has caught a pass to identify which one it is, because they don't want to get Haas, Knox, or Kincaid. And 86 and 88 look so much alike when you're watching.
88 and 85. All 3 numbers look alike.
Check your mic input. I think it went to your computer one. Okay. Moving on to a game that, frankly, with a 49.5 point total, you would think that the Los Angeles Chargers and the Dallas Cowboys would be like, oh man, this is a great game. We have two like really high level quarterbacks playing in this game. And then you realize that you are not getting the Los Angeles Chargers at the peak of their powers. You were also on the Cowboys side. I never really know how to interpret this. The first game where a team has been eliminated from postseason contention. Like sometimes you get a valiant, fighting against the dying of the light game. And then sometimes you get, what would George Pickens trying less hard than he's been doing even look like? Like
I don't understand.
I'd be very
with this guy, man.
Yeah.
He is having the best season of his career. He was about to make $100 million. He had willed his team back into playoff contention. And then he just decided to stop trying the last 2 weeks. Like, what is with this guy, man? Like, I genuinely don't understand this character.
Here's my operational theory.
Why is he fumbling the bag on the 5-yard line? Like, it's like he has some sort of like self-defeating personality disorder. Like, everything was right out in front of them. They could have beat the Cowboys, beat the Vikings, they'd go to the playoffs. He was going to be or beat the Lions, I meant. He was going to be a total hero. He did everything right. And then he went right. It's like the Green Goblin mask of not trying in front of us on national TV. Like, why?
Here's my theory. I have two theories. First theory is he really doesn't want to get franchise tagged by the Dallas Cowboys. So he's like, all right, I put enough on film that I'm going to get a decent sized bag regardless, but I don't want to be franchise tagged. So I want to get like a 4-year deal from whatever. And if I can just piss Jerry off enough, then he won't franchise tag me and he'll let me go. That's theory number one. Theory number two.
That's a bad theory. You should want to stay in Dallas. You should want to keep playing with Dak Prescott.
Well, maybe he doesn't want to. I don't know. Brandon Ayuk
right,
should want to play
plan.
Brandon Ayuk should want to play with Brock Purdy and be a Shanahan wide receiver 1, and he gave up like $100 and something million guaranteed.
Yeah, and that's also a bad plan.
Very bad plan. Yeah. Operational theory number 2, he's got a handshake deal with the Cowboys front office. Of course, we all know how much. Wasn't the Micah Parsons thing that they agreed to the deal on a napkin or something? And he's like, well, they're going to pay me regardless. Or I guess theory number 3 is he's like, well, I'm going to get franchise tagged regardless, and my money is locked in, so who cares? Those are my theories.
All right.
I don't know if any of them are good, but okay. That being said, we do have Javonte Williams listed as limited. I think he's probably going to play. If he doesn't, Malik Davis becomes a giga jam. I wonder if this is the first team in over 2 months that pushes the Chargers enough that they actually have to throw forward passes. Because if they do, in particular, Gadsden and Ladd are like jams. The Hampton-Vidal split in terms of playing time is not super favorable. Hampton got I think he 2x'd Vidal's touches last week on only 35% of the snaps. And CD, if you're looking at low owned jams, CD is not going to be played this week.
That's true. Yeah, he's not. Yeah, I think that's probably if I had to play something in this game, I would do Dak, I would do Lamb. Actually, I think Javonte's a pretty good play this week too. Chargers not a good run defense. What did you make of? You'll really enjoy this. Did you happen to see Benjamin Solak making the case for Justin Herbert?
I did. I saw him and Orlovsky do this, and I said, "How fucking big is the industrial Justin Herbert budget? This is like a
19th in EPA per play, by the way, 19th.
This is what people think George Soros is doing, but I think actually what George Soros is doing is he's just paying internet personalities to try and become more and more breathless about Justin Herbert. Just I could live the rest of my life without reading a think piece about how good Justin Herbert is and how underrated Justin Herbert is and how we all are not appreciating Justin Herbert enough. 0 playoff wins, by the way, Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that would feel exactly as I had hoped. Could you get to Justin Herbert this week in daily?
No, because they do not want to throw whatever like radicalizing moment happened to Herbert to
I think it was the
Harbaugh and
combination
Bowman.
of him being injured and their O-line like literally not blocking anyone. Like if you look
Yes.
at every chart, like their O-line is just like alone in the bottom left. Like they're in the Cam Ward, JJ McCarthy slot. If you look at like
So
it's really rough.
in the last since November, 250 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 220-1, 81 passing yards, 0 passing touchdowns, 151 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 139 yards and a passing touchdown in an overtime game, 210 yards and 1 touchdown. Really should have been about 140 yards. I've never seen a bad call as blatantly bad as calling the Trey Harris reception at the end of the first half a reception by the referees in Chiefs Chargers. I mean, just like laughably, like he like dribbled the ball off the turf and they called it a complete catch. So no, I think you're just swimming too far up tide here.
Okay.
With
even against Dallas, the made 9 just looked good.
Maybe I'm wrong, right? And like I do like Gadsden in this spot because I think you asked me this on the show last week, like what happened to Gadsden, and the issue of what happened to Gadsden was the team just stopped throwing the ball.
Right.
But he led them in receiving last week and looked good. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't think
I don't know if I'm gonna get there, but I just wanted to throw it out because like I mean, if this was like 8 weeks ago, we would all
he'd be the chalk of the slate.
Every single person would be playing the Chargers stacks, and it would just do which combination. But
Yep.
I agree. I think too much has changed. The O-line's too bad. They've gone too run heavy with the O-line being bad. Yeah.
All right. Man. With week 16, and we're already trying to figure out how many of these teams are trying in these games. This is ostensibly the best fantasy game of the slate. We have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to play against the Miami Dolphins. So we're going to have relatively nice weather here. You have very condensed offenses. You have players who are projected to score a shit ton of points in A-Chain, Chase, Burrow, Chase Brown, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, even Darren Waller. But Quinn Ewers is starting for the Miami Dolphins for reasons that are, frankly, I guess I understand because you're just so sick of watching Tua play football that you're like, we got to do something else. Joe Burrow sounds like Jean-Paul Sartre at every press conference. He's like, what's the point? What am I even doing here? I'm existing in the liminal space between being and nothingness, but I guess I'll go out and play football because I don't know what else to do. Jamar Chase at his press conference is like intimating that like something is like something really wrong with Joe Burrow's personal life off the field. T. Higgins has had like 6 diagnosed concussions in the last month, but is listed as questionable in this game. Samaje Perine this is crazy. Samaje Perine got carted off in a 24-0 shutout loss, but then came back in the game. I can't really ever remember that happening. So which keeps Chase Brown from being like a mega smash here. I don't know what to make of this game, Jacob.
Yeah, man, I don't know either. This is another one of the depression bowls. I'm curious to see what HN comes in ownership wise. I think if Tua was playing, he would be like the chalk guy on the slate. But I suspect that the Ewers of it all might impact that. I'm really annoyed about the Quinn Ewers thing. I have funny enough, I actually have Tua on my BBM team and Great Dane team, but I wasn't really counting on those points. It's more the HN and the Waddle that I'm concerned about missing out on. I think HN can still get there because like Tua was playing like shit too. And I don't know, but I just add some uncertainty to the mix for sure. And I'll be very ownership sensitive on him in DFS. If he was actually 6% owned, I would smash that. I don't think that's going to be what the case is. I don't know that I'm into Burrow and Chase. They seem just like really depressed.
They seem like legitimately depressed. Like,
yeah, I don't know if I can do it.
I mean, Joe Burrow, actually, I think it's like kind of maybe like he has like a very tumultuous personal life. He's like in a relationship with like a very famous Instagram influencer, but like she also was his employee. So it's his house got robbed. So something is amiss in Joe Burrow's personal life. That's all I can figure out. Look, man, if Achane comes in at actual low ownership because people are worried that he's depressed, I mean, he's the play of the slate, I guess. Or people are worried about, because like I think the Bengals could conceivably give up 25 points to Quinn Ewers. Truly.
I think they could. I also really love Waller this week. Just the Bengals just give it up to tight ends every single week. What's everybody used to back in the day whenever you have a rookie quarterback, like, oh, he's going to look for his tight end. I think if he can do anything, I think he can get the ball out to Waller. And I think that just with the way that the Bengals don't defend the tight end position at all, he could have a massive game. And I suspect that Ewers will keep his ownership in check. I think he would have been a way more popular play with Tua. I don't know that people will get on any of these guys. I'm not going to get to Waddle, but Achane and Waller with Ewers, I think. By with Ewers, I mean, despite the fact they're playing with Ewers, I don't mean I'll be playing Ewers.
I guess not.
Are you going to play Ewers?
I was trying to. He's not even, his player ID hasn't even been added into our system yet. Let's go find out.
Let's go.
I was going to say let's. I want to find out if Quinn Ewers is legitimately.
Surely he's 4K.
He is 4K. Look, man, I've probably played worse. At the end of the day, remember when Sam Ehlinger started with Jeff Saturday coaching?
Oh, I really do.
So I would imagine that Quinn Ewers is a step above his fellow University of Texas alum Sam Ehlinger in terms of play progression and reading defenses. And I don't know.
Brady Cook was fine last week. Quinn Ewers was a better college quarterback than Brady Cook.
He was much better. Yeah. Now he also played with. I'd like to research this. How many times in NCAA history has teams consecutive years of their 11 personnel, right? So your tight end, your 3 wide receivers, your running back, all been starters in the NFL the next year?
Yeah.
Maybe never. I can't think of an example where it happened, but it happened.
And they couldn't have done it without Ewers supporting them.
Couldn't have done it. Yeah. Back to back years of that happening for the Texas Longhorns. So there you go. All right, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to play at the Carolina Panthers. Some kind of interesting developments here, actually, for fantasy football, where Rico really retook over the backfield from Hubbard last week. Hubbard got relegated to long down and distance, which is sort of interesting. And Mike Evans returned and said, Emeka Egbuka, thanks for keeping my seat warm, buddy. We're good here. The enshittification of Emeka Egbuka, it's going to be really interesting to see how drafters treat him next season.
And it's gotten even worse. The reporting is that he has hit the rookie wall, and that is why they're going to let Jalen McMillan's role continue to grow. He only ran 4 fewer routes than Egbuka last week, and it's quite possible he runs more routes than him this week, and that Egbuka has rendered their wide receiver 4. So, the separation scores, turns out they were right. People made fun of the separation scores, and it turns out they were correct. Egbuka is not looking too hot these days. Speaking of other fantasy assets, this could have been a fun game. It was really close to being a fun game. But we also have Bucky Irving, who became the lead running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he could not reclaim the pass game role that he had early in the season. Rashad White
or the goal line role, most importantly.
Yeah, and that's where I'm getting. The other half is the goal line role that he had at the beginning of the season. That's now Sean Tucker. So he has become a trap back all of a sudden, and he's losing high value touches at both ends to 2 different running backs. So that kind of renders the whole backfield borderline unplayable in this spot. We also have Tyrell McMillan is day-to-day with ankle and foot injuries, may or may not play. And so that leaves us with a limited player pool in one of the only games between somewhat good teams that are both competing for something. Wow, I just looked at the Run the Sims projections, and Emeka Egbuka, the darling of the fantasy industry for a time, is currently being projected behind Jalen Coker. That is interesting. I will play Jalen Coker this week. I promise you that. I'll play him whether Tat McMillan is in or out. He's been cooking recently, and also on that Great Dane team. And he's just a baller. He's just too good. I'll also play Mike Evans, who He's just a grown ass man. He might be the grownest ass man. Came back off of what is usually a season-ending injury, like a full month ahead of schedule, and just alphaed all these other little fools. I believe he needs about 290 yards per game to reach 1,000 yards.
No, not even.
Not
even, dude. 234.
234. All right, so lock him in for 234.
I mean, dude, look. I'm not saying
Baker, Evans, Coker. Let's go.
I'm not saying he's going to average 234 yards per game. And Baker, I mean,
but you don't want to bet against Mike Evans.
I don't want to bet against Mike Evans averaging 234 yards per game over the next 3 games of the season. Sadly, my boy Bake has really been playing like shit for about
talk about
6
industrial
weeks
complexes. Like Baker, nobody gets away with playing like shit more than Baker. People just like him as a personality. I don't, but people do. And then so every single time he's good, they're like, I can't believe the Cleveland Browns gave up on Baker Mayfield. He was a franchise quarterback, the best thing that ever happened to that organization. And then he'll play like 8 weeks completely mid-football, and everyone was like, no one says anything. No one says anything at all.
You're messing with my paycheck here, getting involved, because I am a part of the Baker Mayfield industrial complex.
It's infuriating. Anyway, I want to shout out my guy Theo Ash, who took a lot of grief for saying Trevor Lawrence was better than Baker Mayfield like 8 weeks ago, and we've been redeemed. So shout out my guy Trevor Lawrence.
I'd like to
Baker,
not. I'd like to not shout out any of these people. What I'd like to say is, don't be mean to my large adult son or my small adult son, Baker Mayfield.
He's got to be my least favorite player in the NFL.
Baker was on a short list of child names for me.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow. I can't stand him. Just cannot.
I mean, that's dude. He is a true University of Oklahoma legend and a representative, a really good representative of short kings. He is kind of Napoleon complex personified, like in a guy. Like he loves talking shit. He's kind of he's been through the ringer. He was the practice squad safety. So I'm not accepting your Baker Mayfield sub. What I would say is, let me just come all the way back around before we leave this game. Because the Buccaneers run defense stuff is such a meme, Dowdle is not going to get played at all. True. But one thing about Dave Canales is he's very aware of who his quarterback is. They're not going like 10% PROE in this game. Like Dowdle's getting 18 carries regardless of what the defense is doing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I still think I want to. Yeah, I think you can actually play Bryce though if you bet on them getting down.
Such a bad slate. I don't see any reason why not.
Yeah. Anyway, and despite my hatred of Baker, like I said, I think he's going to be my favorite quarterback play on the slate. So.
All right. Well, we're getting to my favorite quarterback play of the slate because we're getting to the Atlanta Falcons traveling to play at the Arizona Cardinals.
We had one meaningful good game, and now we're right back to the slop.
Right now we're back to the slop. Although this is like good slop. This is like slop that like you're so plugged into the machine that you're not even aware you're plugged in to the slot machine. Now, I think Drake London is probably going to play, and I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably going to play, which is very interesting.
Unfortunate.
Well, except I guess let's lead with this. Do you think that at this stage, the Michael Wilson stuff has been so overwhelming that they have to change Marvin Harrison Jr.'s position to make him the Y or the flanker? Or do you think they say, we spent the 5th overall pick on this guy. Welcome back, buddy. Welcome back to your position.
I don't know. I thought that the last time that he came back that they would.
And that is not what happened.
Go back to Michael Wilson, but they didn't. They reinstalled him as the clear number 1. Maybe Michael Wilson
it's less about being the number 1, by the way, based on my reading. And I think this is if you think about the way Jacoby plays, it kind of makes sense that he would really only throw to the one position, because it's not like Jacoby has ever been this like otherworldly like processor or like accurate or big arm. It's just like he kind of like, I can kind of paint by the numbers even though we're down by 900 points.
Right.
So I think it is kind of easily explainable, but continue.
So yeah, I mean, it's literally just kind of an educated guess. Like it's just it's really hard to know how they're going to treat this. It just seems obviously to be the case that like it's kind of preordained, like however they game plan it, whether it's the position, whether it's the reads and the progression, like it's clearly something that they are just influencing. It's not like it's targets being organically earned in this case. And yeah, I bet the Michael Wilson side of it last time. I don't. I mean, the thing is, this time I don't think it matters because I like Wilson at 6,900 with Marvin back. I mean, that's just a gross price to pay. So I don't think I can get there regardless. And I don't think I want to play Marvin. So I think I'm probably just going to avoid making a guess. And if I play any piece of this, it's probably just going to be Jacoby McBride as a skinny. Or I'd play the Falcons, but I just don't think I'll play either of Wilson or Harrison.
I will make a guess. I will be trying to read the tea leaves or waiting on a Jay Glazer Sunday morning or a Rap Sheet Sunday morning or a Schefter Sunday morning with one of Wilson or Marvin Harrison Jr. because this kind of insane productivity never comes at an ownership discount. And I don't think there's any world where they both get there, right? Like that seems frankly impossible where both Marvin Harrison Jr. and Michael Wilson, you could even build, what you play your team in the spy with Marvin Harrison Jr., you play your team in the red zone with Michael Wilson and you do it that way. Bijan obviously is like a phenomenally good play. And we maybe even kind of buried the lead because I wonder if Michael Carter is the best of this Estime, Kansas City running back, Woody Marks.
We haven't gotten to Jawar Jordan yet, but Michael Carter.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to Jawar Jordan yet. But I mean, Michael Carter is like, because is DeMercado going to play? Because if DeMercado is still out,
DeMercado is going to play. He's been back.
Okay, what's your when you sit down to write the Hitchhiker's Guide?
Oh, it's going to be it's going to be Carter early down, DeMercado long down distance. That's where the wins have been.
It's just so funny because Carter and DeMercado are both long down and distance guys, So like it's just
what are we doing? But we're all the way back to where we started. Like this is we went through several different iterations, but based on last week, we're all the way back to that first week after Trey Benson got hurt. No, it was on in the night. DeMercado on third downs in the 2-minute drill and Carter on early downs. That's where we've come back.
I guess.
And then that's where we are. So I think even play Carter is fine. But I think I'll just do Jacoby McBride. Or I mean, I think you can play anything from Atlanta. Kirk Cousins is kind of back. He's giving fun answers.
Dude, not even kind of. I'm ready to say Kirk is back. Like whatever. He's kind of like figured out the Achilles. Like and he also gets a huge cheat code, which is that about a quarter of their offense is passing the ball to Bijan Robinson with extended handoffs, and he's like one of the best pass catching running backs I've ever seen. So you just kind of get like 5 to 10 free points from throwing screens to Bijan Robinson.
Well, let's talk about the other guy getting installed in guy's role, guy coming back in this game. So like Kyle Pitts, just had like the greatest tight end performance of all time.
No guessing there. Kyle Pitts immediately returns to the role he was in, and we don't have to guess about that at all. I mean, at the end of the day, he's Kyle Pitts, bro.
All right. So if you're playing a Kirk stack, it's Bijan London, Kirk Bijan London.
Yes, yeah, Kirk Bijan London. I mean, you could play Pitts because Pitts could score a touchdown in the old role that he was in, and then he becomes a very good play. Like Pitts had a good role regardless. Like he was
right.
How many 85% route share tight ends are there even in the NFL?
Yeah.
Not really that many. All right. I feel like this game, Jacob has a great ability to be fun, but it's going to require a very precise ordering of the scoring for it to be fun. With the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to play at Denver, they are 3-point dogs with a 46.5 point total. RJ Harvey has a rib injury. I think he got
He's
it
good.
actually. I thought
He's good.
All right, so we got ETN, we got Jacoby Myers, we got Cortland Sutton, Brian Thomas Jr., Brenton Strange. What are you thinking for this game?
I continue to love Harvey. I think people have trust issues with him, but his role's been very good.
Really good.
So I'm just gonna continue jamming Harvey. I like both of the Jacksonville side here. I like Harvey a lot. I'd also be fine with playing Bo Nix, but I will say that Pat Bryant is expected back this week. It makes the stacking a little bit more complicated. You really prefer him out, and then you could just play Nix with Sutton and Franklin. But with Bryant back in, it kind of takes Franklin out of the mix. You don't really want to play Bryant either. But I'll definitely do some stacks on the Denver side of this game. I don't know if I'll get there on the Jacksonville side of the game. I think the combination of them playing against best defense in the NFL with them coming off this huge bonanza game where Trevor goes crazy and ETN goes crazy and then there's no Tootin. Like I think people will probably be actually excited to play it to Jacksonville this week. And I don't know if I want to play any Jacksonville stuff into ownership into this incredible defense. Probably the exception to that, if there is one, would be Jacoby Myers. Who will be in the slot more. He'll see less of Surtain than Thomas will. And I could definitely get behind him.
Who would have thought in the year of our Lord, 2025, that we would be saying, dude, $5,500 Jacoby Myers against the Denver Broncos, easy play over Brian Thomas Jr. for $100 more.
He is.
Your waiver wire co-host Hayden Winks has been big on this, which is like basically it just took all these guys a long time to learn Liam Cohen's offense and all the intricacies and the pre-snap motion and all this, and then like basically once they all kind of figured it out, they look awesome. And part of the why things were going so poorly for like Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. and everyone at the start of the season was like they were the most penalized team pre-snap in the NFL before their bye. Like they were all just didn't know where they were supposed to be and they were messing stuff up a lot and they're no longer doing that. So I'm with you on Harvey. I'm with you on Jacoby. If Pat Bryant does not, okay, never mind. Pat Bryant is full participant, so forget that. Yeah. And now I guess, I mean, it took us a long time to get there, but we did get to the game of the week, which is the Detroit Lions at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not expecting a ton of resistance from the Pittsburgh Steelers here. You just have to guess which of the two Lions players are going to be the nuke. Is it going to be which two of Gibbs, St. Brown, and J-Mo? Last week, Gibbs was the odd man left out. 2 weeks ago, it was St. Brown who was left out, right? And then 3 weeks ago, J-Mo had the double zeros or the triple zeros, rather. Where are you at on this game?
Yeah, this should be a fun one. Despite the Steelers being involved, I definitely am a fan of the four key Lions every single week, basically since the Laporta injury. It's just consolidated everything. So you're every week you can play any or all of Gibbs and Amon-Ra and J-Mo and Goff. And Lions, they got to win. Basically, if they win their last 3 games, they have a 91% chance to make the playoffs. If they lose any of those 3 games, they sink under 40%. So it's must-win territory for Detroit from here on out. Back against the wall. That's kind of where I like Dan Campbell and this Detroit team. It's a rough slate. I know the ownership is going to be really high, but this just does feel still like just clearly the best spot of anything is those 3 Detroit skill players. And I don't really know how you get off that. I don't think I have any desire to. In terms of guys coming back, it like makes me like physically ill to say this, like just violently ill. Like I need to go take a shower. But like, unfortunately, the best player on the Pittsburgh Steelers is kind of Gainwell.
By like a factor of 1 million.
Yeah, like it's disgusting what Aaron Rodgers has done to us, and that he is like chosen Kenny Gainwell as his pass down back, and like it's even more disgusting that he's actually looked pretty good. And yeah, I mean, I expect him to lose this game. I expect him to chase points. That's going to mean passing to running backs. And yeah, I mean, it's just very conceivable that Gainwell could have like 7 or 8 targets in the spot. And he's super cheap. And they even just gave him more carries than Warren in this most recent game. So yeah, unfortunately love Gainwell this week.
So I like Gainwell. I actually put him in the Swolecast lineup that we did on Tuesday. What my thought is like, what is his like actual ceiling when he is very clearly in like a legitimate 50-50-ish timeshare with Jaylen Warren? Like, I think a big explanatory variable was like Warren was sick. Like he like actively had a flu on Monday. The late Monday add Q tag with an illness. I mean, I think that's probably pretty real.
That's fine, but like it's been a multi-week trend. It's not like this is just Monday night. Like Gainwell's been consolidating more and more of the passing work.
I mean, Rodgers just clearly loves him.
Rodgers like just loves this guy.
Yeah, it's his favorite teammate. And we know that Rodgers loves to pick his favorites.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think the ceiling realistically for Gainwell is like 10 carries and 7 receptions and 50 yards on the ground and 60 yards receiving. And
he's just got to score
that
twice.
Gets you to 18.
Yeah.
Score once. He catch 7 balls.
I guess if he catches 7 balls, gets like 85 scrimmage yards and a touchdown, yeah, he can definitely get there. What about you're picking 2 of the 3, Gibbs, St. Brown, J-Mo. Where are you going?
I mean, probably it's just because of the price. It's just like always easier to build if I go Goff, Gibbs, J-Mo. But like obviously Amon-Ra is a ridiculously good play. So I don't know. I mean, I think if I'm doing one lineup, that's probably what I do is Goff. No, I really want to play Amon-Ra this week though. Man. It's impossible. It's an impossible question. I mean, the real answer is I will just do lineups with every combination of them. So it's not a real choice, but if I had to do one lineup for my life, yeah, I guess it would be Goff, Gibbs, Jameson, I think.
The full J-Mo capitulation. I didn't know if I'd live long enough to see it, but I'm happy that we have.
It's gross. Next year when Laporte is back, right back off.
I don't think the issue with the Laporta thing is I don't think you put the $30 million a year wide receiver Pandora back in its box.
Going right back in the box.
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, I would rank them in terms of preference, just given the context of the slate. I would rank them J-Mo, Gibbs, St. Brown, just because there's not a ton of like punt plays on this slate, really. There's not like a $3,800 wide receiver who just projects as a jam. All right. Very, very depressing game here. We have the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to play in the NRG Dome against the Houston Texans. I mean, I actually do have a couple Bowers teams left alive in best ball, and it's just like literally, dude, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point of having a Bowers team alive? He's going to do nothing. He's going to get like 4 points here. 3 weeks in a row, the Raiders have run 48, 49, and 41 offensive plays. They are out of ideas. They've got nothing. Geno, I guess, is going to be back this week. Jaden Higgins is going to project okay. I mean, Woody Marks, are we going to do it again? I don't know. What are we doing with Houston Texans?
I mean, the Raiders offensive line against Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter is just, it's a human rights violation. Like I don't understand. Like someone has to file a complaint to like, we call it work safe. I don't know what you guys have in America in terms of like when there's an unsafe work situation. We call it OSHA. Someone needs to call OSHA on like Geno Smith having to play injured behind this O-line against Anderson and Hunter. It's legitimately an OSHA violation. I think the only plays for me in this game is absolutely none of the Raiders. I've even been trying to do Genty the last couple of weeks. I'm not going to do that again. It would be Nico is fine, and then whatever we think their starting running back is going to be. So, like if Woody ends up playing, he's probably okay. Although I don't think I want to pay $6,600 for Woody. So I guess the only way that I'd play a Houston running back, I think, is if Woody is out. I would play Jawar.
Oh, I mean, if Woody is out, I think you lock button Jawar, probably. I think he becomes as good
and
of a
I would,
play.
and even if Chubb plays, I would play Jawar. Chubb sucked the whole year, and Jawar looked awesome.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the
I think
Chubb thing
Jawar
is totally done.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jawar actually looked better also than Woody has looked at any point this year, by the way.
Well, because Woody is a terrible interior runner. He's totally miscast. He's a passing down back that they'd never throw the ball to for whatever reason. Yeah, Jawar would be as good of a play as JCM was last week, where he was just like, don't think, press the lock button, put him on every team.
Yeah, agreed.
What about? I mean, are you interested at all in Jaden Higgins, Dalton Schultz, any of these secondary pass catchers?
Yeah, sure. They're like fine. I'm not gonna like go into my lineup building things around them, but like they're the classic guys of like, yeah, if you need a 4K wide receiver, like Higgins is like one of the perfectly fine options to fit into that spot.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's build our team. Let's give out some gold stars, and we'll get on our way. Reminder: comment down below. We win $1 million. I'm sending you $10,000. Jacob, you can have first pick.
All right. What a shitty slate to have.
I know.
Okay. I will select Mr. Kirk Cousins.
Wow. We're firing. We're firing with Kirk. You know what?
I'm really excited about playing the Atlanta side of this one.
I'm gonna stack him with Bijan. I'm gonna take Bijan.
Yeah.
I have not tried to build an expensive running back yet this week, so I don't even really know what it'll look like. So let's go down this path.
All right. So allow me to do something unlikely. And look, I don't know if we're gonna have enough money for Amon-Ra, so we'll take Jameson Williams to get some.
Wow, Jameson Williams, beautiful. I'm gonna leap 1 week ahead to a correlation that we're doing for next week. By the way, we played Colby Parkinson last week.
What are we doing? Yeah, we did. Yeah, that ruled.
That lineup easily cashed the Millionaire Maker. I didn't win $1 million, but was very good. I'm doing my gold star play. I am taking Justin Jefferson. I don't endorse
this. I don't endorse this.
He doesn't endorse it.
They're not endorsed. I'll take a player that's actually going to score points. Not that it matters because we just put Justin Jefferson in our lineup. It's all over for us. But I will take Kenneth Gainwell.
Dude, honestly, this you'll come around. I predict everyone that Jacob is going to come around to me with Justin Jefferson. Yeah,
like by Saturday morning, I'll come around.
But by like Saturday or Sunday morning, you're going to be like, you know what? $6,000 Justin Jefferson is actually like it's really good. All right, let's throw in a cheap defense here. Oh, Titans defense against Gardner Minshew. Lock it in.
It's a little bit of nice self-hatred if I ever saw it.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to think, do I want to take another wide receiver or do I want to get, you know what? I'm going to take Aronde Gadsden at tight end. That's a bet I'm comfortable making because the planning is going to be big chalk at tight end. Theo Johnson is going to be owned and Juwan Johnson is going to be owned. So I like the Gadsden pivot there.
Okay. Let's see here. Are there any like really like, okay, how expensive is Gibbs? I'm trying to think of how cheap I need to go at wide receiver.
Gibbs is
88,
85. So
okay. What's in the 3,900 range at the wide receiver position? What are we looking at here?
So you've got we got David Sills in there. We got Flournoy. We have the aforementioned Jalen McMillan.
What's Coker? Is he just a little too expensive?
Coker is 4,400.
All right. Well, I'll pick Coker anyway, and then we'll figure out what we have left for in the flex.
All right, we're gonna take Cokerino, and that leaves us. Oh, James Cook, who is my alternative gold star play, the silver star, if you will. Kirk Cousins, Bijan Robinson, Kenny Gainwell, Jameson Williams, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Coker, Rondé Gadsden, James Cook, Titans defense. Dare I say, this is actually quite a team. I actually
my
think
gold star play, by the way, is Jalen Coker. That's where we're going this week. But if McMillan plays. If McMillan doesn't play, Coker's gonna be way too owned. So it's Coker with McMillan active is my gold star play. Without that, I don't know. My gold star play is probably like Kenny Gainwell.
Quite a gold star play. All right, boys. We're gonna click submit on that. Make sure that you comment down below. Jacob, what do you have for people coming for people over the off season on thinking about thinking?
So yeah, we'll have basically the next couple of weeks. I'll be doing a few playoff basketball articles. I'll be doing an FFPC playoff challenge article or two. And then once the off season starts, I'll be honest, probably not a lot of content in January. But then we come back every year in Feb. We'll do some sort of long form dynasty strategy stuff. We'll start the ramp up to the NFL draft. And I'll announce it sooner, but there's gonna be a lot of new stuff in terms of how we function and how much content there is going into next off season. But yeah, that's generally what to expect, and I'll announce more soon. So excited for that.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Make sure that you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for daily fantasy football videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with you guys tomorrow.